get to cue the band as well. That's always special. Thank you very much. I'll preface this by saying Keith encouraged me after showing him this story. He said, you need to do this in the show, the Escape show. So it's all on him if this sucks. As it always, I guess. It might not all be comedy too, so just be prepared. But now, many of you may know me as the jovial elderly bass player for the band, for the Empire Revue, and around town. But back in 1965, I was a good boy in school. I was a good boy. I was a really good boy until 3:30 on a May afternoon in 1965. Here's a little bit of background. It was mid-1960s, the Cold War, the Vietnam War, Catholic school in Providence's North End. I was next to the youngest of 6 kids in a time and in a family where anything that was seen as different or vulnerable was something to be ridiculed. Invisibility became my survival tool, and I became really, really good at it. I kept my head down, and I was a good boy until 3:30 p.m. on that May afternoon in 1965. That's right, I'm talking last century. Now, my captor took the form of a particularly enlightened Sister of Mercy, our 5th grade teacher. She had spent several years teaching children in Belize and had returned to the U.S. specifically to tell us just how much better those children were than we. We were reminded regularly just how much more polite, how much more obedient, and how much more studious those children in Belize were. What do we do with these Rhode Islanders? Her remedy took several forms. In addition to daily reminders of our general moral inferiority, there was memorization of catechism doctrine. Repeat after me. Lenten sacrifices, giving up anything and everything, pleasurable or enjoyable. The Stations of the Cross on Friday. See how much Jesus suffered for you? Confessions of my sins every Saturday afternoon. More sacrifices at Advent. Lists of forbidden TV shows and condemned movies that the Catholic Legion of Decency told parents that they should not let the children watch. Every day ended with a thorough examination of conscience and a good act of contrition, apologizing to God for being so not good enough. Individuals with differences were singled out for their transgressions. One girl had beautiful long red hair and bangs that she had failed to cut as Sister had commanded. On Monday morning, when Patty returned with her long red bangs, a chair was brought to the front of the classroom and her bangs were forcibly trimmed by Sister in front of the class. Report cards were read aloud so that the lesser students could see how well the good boys and good girls had done. They fucking hated me. Once I made the mistake of thinking that those questions for discussion at the end of a chapter in history were a chance to express opinions and, discuss. Wrong. After I gave my opinion, Sister demanded, stand and repeat after me, the correct answer is, but I thought, repeat after me, the correct answer is, end of discussion. But I was a good boy. I stood and I swallowed my opinion and repeated the correct answer with my face burning. The correct answer was Sister's answer. I obeyed every rule and without any outward show of defiance or even any thought of it. I made sure I got good grades, nothing less would do. It was expected that I participate in all class shows, competitions, projects, and performances as ordered by Sister. I was a good boy, but never good enough. As Christmas approached, I was told that I would play the lead in the Christmas play. I had no choice in the matter, so I started learning my lines. I was a good boy. But I had become really anxious and worried about everything, all the time. I began to come undone. I developed a severe case of eczema on my hands. The itching drove me crazy at night, and the stress from school aggravated the inflammation. My family didn't know why I had it, but I knew. I must have done something wrong. I felt like a burden to my exasperated parents. Soon my hands became raw and crusty, and I couldn't bend my fingers, couldn't use my hands. The doctor had me soak my hands in a dark purple solution that dyed them and my fingernails dark burgundy. I lost my invisibility, lost my superpower. I missed 6 weeks of school, but I did return for my performance in that Christmas play. My purple hands were bandaged in 2 of my father's new handkerchiefs. Don't worry, no one's gonna notice. Everyone noticed. I was told by Sister that my condition represented the rottenness inside me coming out. When I returned, semi-healed after the holiday break, I handed in the required note from my mother, excusing my absence, and was told by Sister, "We'll have no more of this foolishness." Here comes the escape part. In spring, my next obligation was assigned. A major annual spelling bee. The preliminary round was to be held in the church basement after school in the near future, and all of us good boys and girls were expected to be there, ready to do our best in order to advance to the regionals. As usual, Sister gave me no choice in the matter. I would report at 3 p.m. on the appointed day. Of course I did as I was told. I was a good boy. And along with several of the other good students, I took a seat in the church basement. I waited as a couple of my peers, competitors, stood to meet their spelling challenges. As Margaret Mary easily aced her first word, I looked at the judges, the pastor, the lone male teacher in the school, just back from his National Guard basic training, the principal, and my 5th grade teacher. My turn came. I left my book bag in the chair and stood and took my place in front of the microphone and the panel. I was given my word to spell. Followers. Now you'll remember how this goes. You say it, spell it, say it, right? So my word is followers. I paused for a few seconds and heard my voice say, followers, F-L-O, stop! Once again, followers, followers, F-L-O, stop! Try it again. I looked Sister dead in the eye and said, followers, F-L-O, wrong. Next. What did I just do? Whose voice was that? Was it deliberate? Was it a slip of the tongue? Was it nerves? Was it a choice? Was it more rottenness coming from inside me? A reflex, act of self-defense or self-preservation? I didn't know. I didn't even recognize what I was feeling. I had no words for it. And as I picked up my book bag and walked past the panel of judges to the door, I felt what? Relief? Calm? Elation? Dignity? Wait, did I just do something wrong? Are they going to stop me before I get out of here? No. It's after school hours, but they're just looking at me hard as I leave. But they have to let me leave. I spell my word wrong, and those are the rules. And besides, I had to go. I had to get out of there. I had things to do. I had a paper route to do. And then I had to get home and finish my homework before Batman came on. Batman was one of those shows that they condemned on the list. But I had things to do. I made it to the door, up the stairs out of the church basement and out of the church building, breathing rapidly, breathing differently, knowing that she couldn't touch me.
That's Joe Potenza.
Keith instructed me to add this postscript.
I forgot.
We talked about this, Keith.
We did.
No, Keith said I should add this postscript to this story, which is true. I finished 8 years of Catholic grammar school, 4 years of Catholic high school, and I graduated from Providence College. And 1 week after graduation, I got a job teaching at a progressive Catholic high school. One of the courses I taught was critical thinking.